Welcome to the forecast feed. This is where we give you a behind the scenes look at what our thinking is going into the forecast. And throughout the next couple of days, we're going to be tracking an elevated risk of severe weather peaking on Saturday. So if you have any weekend plans, you definitely need to pay attention to the forecast. So here's the overall risk zone that we are tracking. Heading into tomorrow, there will be a risk of severe weather from the southern plains up into the northern plains, especially that I-90 corridor there in South Dakota. We're going to be watching out for an elevated risk of large hail here as we go forward. After that, heading into Friday, you can see that risk of severe weather is going to slowly shift its way from west to east. So the I-35 corridor from Oklahoma City through Wichita, Kansas City, Des Moines, we'll be watching out for an elevated risk of severe weather across this region. But that's Friday's risk. Once again, the highest potential of severe weather will be on Saturday, because take a look at this. This zone here between I-30 and I-40 in Arkansas, that's where it looks like we'll see the highest potential of severe weather. In this potential, we're talking large hail, damaging winds, and yes, the highest tornado threat we have seen across this region since the springtime. So we will be watching out for that elevated risk. So here's what we are thinking. Here's what's going into the overall thinking of what we are tracking here for you. So what you're looking at first is going to be the view of the upper levels of the atmosphere. Right here, you are looking up about 3, 4, 5 miles in the atmosphere. And what we normally look for in this zone is a couple of dips there in those lines you see. And when you really start to see those bright colors on the map, that is when we start to see, as meteorologists, that's when our ears start to perk up a little bit, because whenever we start to see those bright colors, that's when we start to see the elevated risk there for severe weather. Now, any type of severe weather, whether it's a hailstorm, whether it's a tornado, anything like that, you need moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere. And what you're looking at right now is the moisture levels that we're going to be forecasting for. So anytime you see green on this particular map, there will be enough moisture to support supercell thunderstorms and overall just severe weather. So from Friday into Saturday, you can see just this plume of Gulf moisture being pulled across the coast into the interior, and that's why we're really going to be watching out for that risk of severe weather there across eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas, and especially Missouri. Missouri is going to be watching out for an elevated risk of severe weather as well. So what you're looking at right now is the amount of instability in the atmosphere, and instability is what really gets those thunderstorms to just explode in intensity. So as we head throughout the day on Saturday, you can see Saturday morning we're not seeing a whole lot, but then as we head into Saturday afternoon, we're going to start to see an elevated risk there of these storms starting to develop. Now, this isn't like the kind of setup you would expect in, early to late May across the southern plains in Oklahoma, but there will be enough instability in the atmosphere to support some severe weather. So the overall zone we're going to be watching out is between Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. I'll go ahead and highlight this here for you of what we're mainly going to be watching, the zone. And the zone is going to be this zone right here on the map. So that's what we're going to be mainly watching out for. So that's the amount of instability in the atmosphere. Whenever you look at what we call the supercell composite parameter, this is the weather model's interpretation of, are the conditions favorable for supercell thunderstorms? And as we head throughout Saturday, you can really see those numbers really start to jump up Saturday afternoon across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. And when you look at the model's interpretation of tornado potential, that also ramps up there across eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas and Missouri as well. So heading throughout the next couple of days, we will be watching out for an elevated risk of severe weather pretty much every single day as we head throughout the weekend. But it does look like the highest potential for severe weather, including tornadoes, will be on Saturday.